boys and girls, today we get to do an atlas. And the reason why we're doing the conquests of Alexander the Great for our first atlas this week is simply because the first major empire we are going to study is the Greek Empire. And the most well-known leader of the Greek Empire is Alexander the Great, and he is called the Great for a reason, and we'll be learning about that later on this week. So for our atlas this week, we are going to be using this paper and the atlas books. Now, Miss Richards and I were very happy to find this set of atlas books, and we already had this set of atlas books. And when Miss Richards found this set of atlas books, we realized that they're not exactly the same looking, but they have some of the same information. So the first thing I want you to take note of is that on the directions right here, it's going to say to turn to pages 34 to 35 of the atlas. That is for this style atlas. If you have this style atlas, you have to go to pages 32 and 33. Now, because you are all functioning high-level 7th graders, you would know that if you turn to the wrong page, let's say I just got confused for a minute and I went to page 34, I would see the title says From Rome, Roman Republic to Roman Empire, and I think, oops, I'm on the wrong page. So then I would go ahead and, oh yeah, look, page 32, The Conquests of Alexander the Great. Now my title matches the atlas, so I'd be good to go. So just taking note of that as we begin here. Okay, now this atlas you're going to have to finish in just this one day. In the past, we've given you 2 days to do an atlas, and I've been told that you guys are too smart for 2 days, that you can accomplish this in 1 day. So please stay on focus and get this atlas done today so that you can turn it in. It is for a grade, so you'll need to make sure that you have turned it in, please. The first thing you should do is put your name and crew name at the top. So your name goes here, and then your crew. Okay, so now I'll know who to give the credit to. If you don't finish this today, you'll need to use your online atlas version, which is in Google Classroom, and we use that for the math activity. You'll know exactly where that is. So just making sure that you have that access to that so that you can complete this if you don't get it done today. Okay, moving forward on the actual atlas for today, the first part is to always read the directions. So turn to pages, we just discussed that, it's 32 or 34 depending. It says read the introduction and look at map B. Now right now you may or might not have this paper in front of you depending on what your teachers did. If you do have the paper in front of you, you can go ahead and underline this if you so choose. If you don't have the paper in front of you, then just take note when you are done listening to this video. I wanted to show you real quick. This part right here is the introduction, and then this part is map B. So it's labeled, and this introduction, we learned that that's called the introduction at the beginning of the year. You might have forgotten. So I wanted to show you this is introduction, and this is map B. Okay, cool. Moving forward. You're just going to fill in those blanks right there. To part 2, it says, look at picture A and its caption. So making sure to go ahead and read the caption. Oh, hold on a second. Map A right here. Or excuse me, picture A and then the caption. And the next part says to use the history question. That's right down here. So you'll have access to all of that when you start to work. Okay, just making sure you have that. It's in the directions. I'm just going over this with you because sometimes kids forget to read the directions. On the back, you are looking at map C, the Persian Empire, and using that to fill in this area. Map C looks like this. There we go. Okay, so map C is up here. We can see the corresponding C, and this is the map. Please remember to use your key. You don't know what the pink means or the orange means or the star means unless you read the key. So please make sure you use that key to examine what the map is all about. The last section is section 4, and you're going to use map D. Now this is a little bit more of a challenging section, which means it's more fun. And so in map D, you are going to do this activity. let me read this to you. In map D, you are going to use the map to follow Alexander's conquest route. Number the places below in sequential order, with 1 being the first place Alexander traveled through and 14 being the last. So, where's the first place he began his travels to conquer bigger and better spaces? Oh my goodness. Hold on. That scared me. Okay, just a second. A little quick thing fell here. Okay, thanks for that. My goodness, a major disaster. Thanks for hanging with me through that. Okay, so we're talking about Alexander the Great's path to conquering more and more territory. We see it on the geohistogram, right? So we'll take a look at that when we look at more into detail with the Greeks later this week. But Alexander goes on a terror to conquer more lands, and he ends up in lots of different regions. So we're going to look at that path today. And so starting with the very first place that he went, that's number 1, and the last place will be the 14th place. Okay. Some places he goes through more than once. He travels back through, so those places will have 2 numbers by them. Right now you're saying I have no idea what you're talking about, and so let me do a couple with you. Okay, so let's just examine this map. You don't even really need yours out right now. If you have it out, okay, fine. But if you don't, that's okay too, because I can just show you up here. That might be a little bit easier. Okay, so this is the map we're supposed to be using, map D. To build his empire, Alexander led his armies through scorching deserts and across steep mountains. In some areas, Alexander moved his troops along roads the Persians had built. Pretty smart guy, right? Why don't you use what's available to you? You don't need to ask permission of the Persians if you're going there to conquer them. Here's the key. And so we're going to notice the title, Alexander Conquers Persia. We get a timeline right here. We see Alexander's empire. We see the route is in purple with an arrow. We see the gray is Persian roads. The big red splotch there is major battle. And then the star is the capital. With Persian written in that font is Persian region, and then the little sparkly reds is desert area, and then we have a scale. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to show you, we need to find the first place where Alexander starts. I'm just going to show this to you so you know where. Number 1, 333 BC or BCE, before Common Era, Alexander becomes the ruler of Greece. Okay, right here. He's in Pella. So look at your list. Pella. Okay, I'm going to put a number 1 at Pella. This is where Alexander starts. Great. Okay, he's on his way. Now we know we have to follow the purple route with the arrows to find out where he goes. Then we notice he goes through Thrace, right there. Okay, Thrace is right here, so that's going to be spot 2. This is his path. I'm still going along the purple line right here. Now I'm on to Granicus. And Granicus has a red battle symbol. So I know that he got into a battle. And because he got into a battle, we're going to circle Granicus. Okay. I should highlight that for you. Excuse me. Circle the places that major battles have occurred. Right there. Okay. So Granicus has a battle, and that is also spot number 3. He continues on down. The arrow is going this way, and this is where you will pick up where we just left off, and you will continue finding the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, remembering that he goes through some places twice. This is going to be a little challenging, and I hope it is for you. I also hope that you use each other as resources and that you give it your best shot, think it through, use the key, use the map, and figure out the order of Alexander the Great's conquest of Persia. We'll be talking about how Persia might have been a little more superior to the Greeks, but Alexander conquers them, so we never get a chance to find out who would have been maybe the better empire, because Persia ends up being taken over and ending with Alexander the Great conquering them. So this is your job for today. Get to it, get it done, turn it into your crew teacher. You will have until tomorrow for it to be due, because if you don't get it done in class today, you can take it home tonight and do it with your online atlas and then turn it in tomorrow. You get no work time tomorrow in this in the class. It is simply for you to do at home tonight if you don't finish it before you leave today. Okay, boys and girls, good luck, have fun, enjoy. Talk to you soon.